Good evening, everyone. We're here for our final regular season game. Looks like Johnson will take the face off. Ulrich will be to his right. Swarth out to the left. Puck comes out to Davis. Davis loses it to Shakopee. Goes back behind the net. Johnson's there, breaks up the play, has it back forward. Shakopee comes away with it. Sends it back behind the net. Davis blocks that. Sends it back into the corner. Shoves it up to Johnson. Davis picks it up in front of the net. He sends it up, just misses Ulrich. Puck goes back behind the net. Hagen in after it. He gets it to Ulrich. Puck comes out of the zone. Armentrout blocks it, sends it back to Ulrich. Ulrich skates it in. He comes in. Shot just goes wide of the net. Puck comes up. Hagen chasing after it. Shakopee comes skating out. And between Heidi and Reichert, they break up that play. Puck goes into the corner. Schwartzball sends it up to Hagen. Hagen tips it, and it comes out into center ice. Christensen tips that puck into the zone. Puck comes out. Cross ice, picked up by Reichert. Reichert's going to dump it in. Picked up by Shakopee and comes right back out again. Puck comes out. Christensen will pick it up. Back to Christensen. Christensen's shot goes over the net. Shakopee picks it up, sends it cross ice, off the boards. And they pick it up. Right in front. Shot hits the side of the net. Lorenzen picks it up. Gets across one player, but it gets picked off again. Christensen pushes somebody to the board. Lorenzen back behind the net with it. He'll shove it around. Picked up by Heinert. Heinert flips it out. Picked up by Shakopee. They'll send it across, keep it into the zone. Puck comes down low. Picked up by Shakopee. Centered. Shot. Goes over the net. Heinert's there for it. He'll flick it out. They come over center. Shot goes over the net. Eddie picks it up. Sends it over. Cross ice. Tried to hit Heinert. Just out of his reach. Shakopee will regroup. Send it across all the way down, and that's going to be an icing call on Shakopee. 12 minutes and 33 seconds left here in the first period. The score is 0-0. Looks like we're switching lines up a little bit. So Lorenzen will come in and take the face off. He's got Erickson to his right, Swarthout to his left. Out back is Sestefan and Rasmussen. Puck comes out. Picked up by Shakopee. Up center ice. They're going to come down. Nice break up by Sestefan. Brings it back behind the net. Doubles back. Tries to get it out to Rasmussen. Rasmussen will take it back behind the net. He'll flick it out. Gets out of the zone, and that's going to be an offside call on Shakopee. 12 minutes and 7 seconds left here in the first period. Puck will be to the far dot, or face off will be to the far dot. Lorenzen line stays out there. Puck comes back to Rasmussen. He sends it over to Sestefan. Sestefan bounces off the boards. Bad bounce. He'll pick it back up again. He shoves it up to Swarthout. Swarthout carries it in. Shot gets blocked by a Shakopee player. Goes into the corn. Puck comes all the way out. Tipped by Sestefan. He's got time. Goes across ice, but it's picked up. Broken up by Armentrout. That comes up just off the Hagen stick, comes all the way down, and that's going to be an icing call on CCHA. Strickland's in net tonight. Ulrich in to take the face off. He sends it back down the net. Davis helps out. Gets it up to Ulrich. Ulrich bounces off the boards. Picked up. Davis deflects it over into the corner. Picked up by Shakopee. Johnson in helping him out. He comes away with it. He shoves it up to Hagen bounces it off the boards and gets it up to center ice. Shakopee comes right back in again. Shot, save. Johnson drops it off for Davis. Davis will double back. He gets tied up behind the net. Puck comes out to Ulrich alongside the boards. He gets checked. Dumps it for Johnson. Johnson sends it over to Hagen. And Hagen will just dump it into the zone. Puck comes up along the boards. Ulrich will pick it up. He gets picked up by Shakopee. Shakopee will come out. Shot. And they can't get the glove on it, or the stick on it. Goes into the boards. Johnson's got him tied up. Comes out. Saved by Starkman. Comes out to the side, up to the point. Save right out in front, and Starkman's going to cover. Good flurry by Shakopee. Nice save by Starkman. Rickard Whiten comes out. It'll be him, Heinert, and I think Christensen. It comes along the boards. Christensen's after it now. Riker picks it up. They'll go back behind the net. He comes out with it, tries to get it up behind it, and does. Heinert flips it up, but it's kept in by Shakopee. Now it comes out to the point. Shakopee, a shot deflected by Schwartzbaugh. He sends it up the boards to Riker. Riker tries to get it out of the zone. Picked up by Shakopee. Saved by Schwartzbaugh. Or Eide, excuse me. Schwartzbaugh chasing it after it. Comes out flat. Picked up by Heinert. And it's got Christensen off to his right. He gets taken down. No call there. Goes into the corner. Comes all the way back. Lines it. Sends it just wide of the net. Comes up for Schwartzbaugh. Schwartzbaugh sends it right back down again. They come over into the corner. Schwartz out there to pinch down. Puck goes back behind the net. Comes up to Schwartzbaugh. Schwartzbaugh takes a shot. Saved by Shakopee goalie. Comes out. Deflected. Gets to Eide. Eide takes a shot. It gets deflected out front by Shakopee. Shakopee sends it across ice. Eide stops it. It's picked up by Shakopee. They carry it in. Poke checked away by Eide. Shot comes through, but wide of the net. Puck comes up to Erickson. He gets it out of the zone. And we're going to get an offsides call. All right, 8:34 left in the first period. Score still tied 0-0. Ulrich to the right. Johnson's in to take the face off. Hagen to the left. Out back is Sestefant and Rasmussen. That's going to be another offsides call on Shakopee. So this will come out to the near dot on the CCHA side. Johnson steps in for the face-off. Puck comes out. Shakopee has it. They dump it into the zone. Starkman will keep it back behind the net. Sestefant sends it up to Hagen. Hagen gets it up to Johnson. Johnson's going to skate with it. He's got Ulrich to his right. Shot. And Shakopee does not cough up the goal, or cough up the puck. So we'll get a frozen puck. And the face-off will be to the right of the Shakopee goal. Johnson line will stay out there. Ulrich to the right, Hagen to the left. Sestefant and Rasmussen out back. Johnson gets to the puck, tries to get it back to Rasmussen. Puck will come all the way out of the zone. Sestefant to pick it up. He sends it up to Ulrich. Ulrich gets it to Hagen. Hagen is skated in. Gets the puck deflected off his stick. Has it alongside the boards. Comes out front, lands home. Shakopee will just dump it in on Starkman. Starkman will send it to the corner for Rasmussen. Hagen takes a swat at that, gets it back to Johnson. Johnson throws it back there inside the boards. Hagen picks it up. He'll throw it up. He'll hit Ulrich. Ulrich will deflect that puck into the Shakopee zone. Comes up alongside the boards over to Reichert. Reichert tries to feed Hagen, but can't. For Ulrich. Puck comes cross ice. Picked up by Sestafon. Sestafon sends it up to Reichert. Reichert throws it up alongside the boards. Comes out to Sestafon. Sestafon waiting for Reichert and Heiner to get on board. Comes back to Armentrout. Armentrout sends it up to Reichert. He deflects it, but picked up by Shakopee. Shakopee sends back to Davis. Davis sends it to Armentrout. Armentrout to Christensen. Christensen will carry it in. Wraps around, throws it off front. Davis was right there, but couldn't get a stick on it. Reichert has it. Sends it over to Armentrout. Armentrout sends it back alongside the boards. Christensen will pick it up, and he'll get it out of the zone. Erickson picks it up. Controlled by Shakopee right now. Goes back. Picked up by Swarthout. Swarthout sends it up alongside the boards. Erickson chasing after it. Guys in the corner. Swarthout to help out. Cross ice. Armentrout poke checks that away. Shot goes on Starkman. He sends it out. Davis breaks up that play before the Shakopee player can get a stick on it. He doubles back behind the net. Sends it up to Swarthout. Swarthout cross ice to Erickson. Erickson off his skate, deflects it in. And no icing called there. That comes back to Erickson into the corner of Swarthout. Erickson gets taken down, no call there. Davis pitches, gets it to Swarthout. Swarthout's foot, no call there. That comes back, comes in for Shakopee. Shot, blocked out front. Lorenzen gets it. That comes over, deflected by Starkman over into the corner where Eide picks it up and tries to get out of the zone and can't. Shot out front. Back to Lorenzen. Lorenzen's puck goes up in the air. Picked up. Sent up. Oh, shot on Starkman. Deflected off of Lorenzen's skate. Puck comes out to Erickson. Erickson throws it over to Schwartzbaugh. Puck comes back in. Johnson chasing after it. We'll get there first. Tries to get it up to Schwartzbaugh. Does now. Schwartzbaugh sends it up. Picked up by Shakopee. Shakopee goes to the net. And we are going to the net's off after the Shakopee player got pushed in to Starkman by Johnson. The defensive line with Rasmussen and Sestafon out there. Johnson took the face off. Up comes out front. Just outside of the zone, picked up by Sestafon. Sestafon gets it over to Hagen. Hagen comes in, brings it wide, tries to center it back. Goes into the corner. Puck comes up to Sestafon. Sestafon loses it. It comes up alongside the boards, picked up by Rasmussen. Rasmussen throws it out. It's Johnson. Johnson to Ulrich. Ulrich will carry it in. Brings it back behind the net. And the puck comes out to center ice. Reichert puts the check on, gets broken up. Reichert will pick it up. He gets it up, tries to hit Hagen, just missed him. Comes back to Reichert. Reichert dumps it into the zone. Comes out. Hagen will keep it in. Heiner. Back to Shakopee. And it goes into the Shakopee bench, so we're going to get a face-off to the right of the Shakopee goalie. 3 minutes and 35 seconds left here in the first period. Score is still tied 0-0. Reichert, Heiner, and Christensen line out there. Davis and Armentrout out back. Reichert steps in, take the face-off. Heiner to the right. Christensen to the left. Puck comes out. Christensen gets it, throws it over the net, and goes into the corner. Heinert chasing after it. It comes up to the point for Davis. Davis able to keep it in. Throws it alongside the boards for Heinert. Comes back to Davis. Davis fighting for it. He gets it. He'll throw it back into the corner. Picked up by Shakopee. Riker deflects that back into the corner. Christensen throws in shot that goes just through the crease. It comes down to Riker in the corner. And Shakopee will carry it out of their zone. Brings it into the CCHA zone. Shots deflected. Goes into the corner. Comes out front. Goes across the crease. Picked up by Christensen. Christensen tries to hit Heinert. Comes out to Shakopee. Shakopee controls at center ice and dumps it into the CCHA zone. Armantrout will pick it up behind the net. He doubles back. He throws it over to Christensen. Christensen has it. Davis in to help him out. Davis tied up. Baker goes in after it. Puck comes out front. Picked up by Heinert. And it skates it out. He's got Davis. And we're going to get an offsides call. Davis was just a bit ahead of him. All right, 2 minutes and 21 seconds left here in the first period. Score still 0-0. Lorenzen line out there with Erickson to the right, Swarthout to the left. Right back is Schwartzbaugh. Puck comes to Erickson. He gets through, tries to get a shot off, but fans on that. Puck comes out to Schwartzbaugh. Schwartzbaugh sends it out to Swarthout. Swarthout sends it to Lorenzen. Lorenzen carries it in. His shot saved by the goalie. Puck goes out of the up into the netting in the corner, so we're going to get a breakage in play here. About 2 minutes left in the first period. Lorenzen steps in. Puck comes out, picked up by Swarthout. He'll dump it back into the corner, comes all the way around. Puck comes up to Erickson, who's able to keep it in. Sends it out to Lorenzen. Lorenzen's shot just goes wide of the net. Picked up by Swarthout. He'll send it back to Eide. Eide back to Swarthout. Swarthout gets it over to Erickson. Erickson doesn't get a shot off. Schwartzbaugh, his shot goes wide of the net. Comes out to Swarthout. Swarthout sends it back behind the net. Christensen heads back behind there. Comes into the corner. Picked up by Shakopee. Shakopee sends it cross ice. Missed the player. Comes back to Schwartzbaugh. Schwartzbaugh hits Johnson. Gets broken up. 2-on-1. Shot goes wide of the net. Schwartzbaugh fighting for it. Johnson sends it up to Ulrich. Ulrich trying to hit Hagen. Bounces off of the Shakopee player, and they're just going to dump it into the zone. Schwartzbaugh pick it up back behind the net. Sends it up to Ulrich. Ulrich deflects it to center ice where Shakopee will pick it up. Shakopee dumps it into the CCHA zone. Starkman will hold it up for Eide. Eide doubles back. Sends it back to Schwartzbaugh back in the corner with it now. Comes to Davis, I believe, over to Ulrich. Ulrich flutters it out to center ice, and Hagen's right there, but it's going to get covered by the Shakopee goalie. 29 seconds left here in the first period. Pretty even shots on goal. 4 for CCHA, 5 for Shakopee. Reichert White out there with Heiner to the right and Christensen to the left. That goes into the corner. Shakopee controls. It's thrown alongside the boards. Comes out, relayed back in. Rasmussen there. Sends it over to Sestafant, back to Rasmussen. And we're going to get a penalty for tripping with 12 seconds left here in the first period. And that'll go against Sestafant. Swarthout will step in and take the face off. He's got Erickson up front with him, Davis and Armantrout out back. Shakopee controls, do the wraparound, and they get the ball. All right, 6 seconds left here in the first period. Lorenzen steps in for the face-off. We're 5-on-5 again. Puck comes out to Armitrout. Armitrout sends it up just out of the reach of Swarthout. Go back behind the net, and that'll do it for the first period. All right, stay tuned, folks. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Score right now is Shakopee 1, CCHA 0. All right, here we go for period number 2. Hopefully you were able to get your potty break in or get a cocktail mixed before we jump back into the action here. Oh, all right, Lorenzen will take the face off. Erickson will be to his right. Swarth out to his left. Trout and Davis out back. Puck comes out. Shakopee brings it into the zone. Throws it out front. It's deflected by Davis. Picked up by Davis. And he will float out of the ring. So we will get a face-off. Looks like it'll be to the right of Starkman. Lorenzen steps back in. We're going to get a whistle after the puck got dropped. Not sure why, but we'll do it all over again. Lorenzen, puck comes up to the point for Shakopee. Gets through, but was wide of the net. Puck goes outside. Lorenzen in the corner with it. Armitrout to help him out. Comes to Erickson. Erickson bounces it off the boards. Swarthout making a break for it, but Shakopee will get there first. Davis for Swarthout. Back to Davis. Davis tries to center it to Lorenzen. Davis brings it up to the point for Armitrout. Armitrout shot to Erickson. Erickson couldn't get a shot off. Puck comes back to Armitrout. Armitrout shoots, deflected. And it's still thrown out, but we are going to get a whistle. Cross check. Not sure. Looks like this is going to be on Shakopee for a cross check. So CCHA will go up in the power play. 14 minutes and 4 seconds left here in the second. Ulrich to take the face off. Sestafant's out front, along with Heinert. Puck comes out, goes into the corner. Swarth out, pinch down, sends it across the boards to Ulrich. Ulrich sends it up to Johnson, back to Ulrich. Ulrich is shot, deflected out front. Picked up by Sestafant, gets it to Ulrich. Ulrich back behind the net. Sends it up to Johnson at the point, and Johnson's going to handle the shot, so it's going to come all the way down. Picked up by Johnson. It's going to send it back to Rasmussen. Rasmussen throws it over to Ulrich. Ulrich hits Heinert. Ulrich back to, we're going to get an offsides call as Ulrich was just a little ahead of, all right. Heinert on that play. 13 minutes, 18 seconds left in the second period. Minute and 15 seconds left on the power play for CCHA. Lorenzen take the face off, Swarth out to the left, Erickson to the right. Puck comes out to Erickson. They'll carry it into the zone, comes up, shot, goes wide of the net. Puck comes up to the point. Christensen not able to keep it in. He doubles back, hits Swarth out. Swarth out throws it over to Lorenzen. Lorenzen shot, gets deflected, goes into the corner. Puck goes back behind the net. Armitage crashes, but gets deflected off. Picked up by Christensen. Picked back up by Shakopee. Comes out to Erickson, or Lorenzen, or Christensen. Both out gets deflected off it. Backhanded by Erickson. Puck's out front. Over to Swartha, or to Armitage. Armitage's shot goes wide. Picked up by Lorenzen alongside the boards. Lorenzen's just holding on to it. Tries to hit Christensen across ice. Christensen will dump it into the corner, picked up by Swartha. Swartha to throw it out front. Kept in by Armentrout. Back over to Christensen. Christensen bounces it off the board down low. Both teams are now at full strength. Christensen deflects it over to Ulrich. Back to Johnson. Shot on net. And it's covered by the Shakopee goalie. Good flurry there. Wish we could have stuffed it in. But we're still down by a goal. Shakopee up 1-0 over CCHA with 11 minutes and 48 seconds left here in the second period. Johnson steps in. He's got Hagen to the left, or Aldridge to the right. That comes out. Schwartz foul. That goes into the corner. Idy chasing after it. Shakopee will get there first and send it over into the other corner. Puck comes out to center ice. Cotton Aldrich's skates. He gets it up to Hagen. It deflected off of Hagen, and it gets to the Shakopee player. Put it right on Idy's stick. Idy sends it back to Schwartzbaugh. Schwartzbaugh over to Ulrich. Ulrich over to Johnson. Back to Ulrich. Shot in the glove save by the Shakopee goalie. 11 minutes, 13 seconds left here in the second. Record line will come on the ice. Christensen will be to his left. Heinert to his right. Out back is Sestefan and Rasmussen. Reichert sends the puck into the corner. Comes out. Sestefan's able to keep it in. He tries to get it over to Christensen. Deflected off into the corner for Reichert. Reichert has it back behind the net. He tries to hit Christensen. Gets deflected by Shakopee. Oh, nice play. Tries to go up to Sestefan. Sestefan sends it back into the corner for Heinert. Heinert gets it over to Christensen. But Shakopee comes away with it. Shakopee goes cross ice. Rasmussen breaks up that play, sends it to Reichert. Reichert gets it up to Heinert. Heinert shot over to Christensen, but he was tied up. Sestefan pinches it off. Reichert hand passes, it's waved off. And that's going to be icing is waved off on that. Rasmussen will pick it up behind the net. He'll bounce it off the boards. Picked up by Shakopee. They'll keep it into the zone. Deflected. Rasmussen to Erickson. Just behind Erickson. Shot by Reichert. He's going to the bench after looks like he took one on the elbow. Swarthout has it. He'll send it all the way down, and that'll be an icing call. Face off and come all the way back down. It'll be the left of Starkman. Lorenzen line out there. Swarthout's going to be to his right. That's picked up by Swarthout. Goes into the corner. Davis loses his stick. Puck comes cross ice. Left by Armstrong. Shot gets through, goes into the corner. Armstrong throws that one across around the back of the net. Lorenzen does pick up his stick. He has it, throws it alongside the boards. Back to Armentrout. Armentrout back behind the net. Will be picked up by Erickson. Back to the point. Shot goes wide of the net. Lorenzen Davis poke checks at it. He'll carry it back behind the net. Back by Erickson. Back to Davis. Davis poke checks it into the corner, picked up by Armentrout. Armentrout tries to get it up to Swarthout, and he does. Swarthout's going to skate it up. He'll carry it in. Throws it over to Lorenzen. Lorenzen, shot saved by goalie. Picked up by Shakopee. They'll throw it cross ice, get it out of the zone. Picked up by Davis. Davis sends it back to Armentrout. Armentrout tries to get it up to Hagen. Hagen deflects it into the zone and is able to keep it in. Johnson with it alongside the boards. Comes all the way back. Ulrich back behind the net. Comes back out to Johnson. Johnson will flip it back to Ulrich. Ulrich tries to set it over to Hagen. It's picked up by Shakopee, and they'll throw it across. He hits his player. Shot saved by Scarfin. Going to the netting behind it, and we'll have a whistle. Good fast-paced game. Both teams putting some pressure on each other. Face off will be to the right of Starkman. Johnson will step in, along with Ulrich and Hagen out there. In the corner, along the boards, Hagen. He pokes at it. Excuse me, folks. The puck comes out of the zone. Picked up by Shakopee. He'll send it up. Carried in. Shot. Glove saved by Starkman, and he's going to cover. 7 minutes and 57 seconds left here in the second period. Score is Shakopee 1, CCHA 0. Reichert line will come out. With Christensen and Heinert. Reichert steps in to take the face off. That comes over to Schwartzbau. He has it in the corner. Reichert in to help him out. Comes up to the point for Shakopee. Shakopee backhands it, picked up by Reichert. Reichert will carry it into the zone. Comes back. He gets tripped. No call. He throws one on net. Block goes back behind. Picked up by Heinert. Heinert sends it up to Schwartzbau. Schwartzbau's shot comes over to Christensen. Christensen's shot gets blocked. He flips it up and it lands in the Shakopee goalie's glove. So we're going to get a face-off with 7 minutes and 27 seconds left here in the second period. Some discussion with the refs and the coaches, so we're just waiting for that to finish up. Reichert didn't take the face off. That comes over to Heinert. Heinert centers it, goes through the crease, comes up to Shakopee. Shakopee goes cross ice. Schwartzbauer was skated. Off the pipe. Shot blocked by Eide. Comes back to Starkman, he's going to cover. Line change here. Looks like it'll be the Lorenzen line that comes out. Puck goes over to Rasmussen. He'll ring it across the boards. Trying to hit Swarthout. I think we're going to get an outside call. Puck will be to the near dot on the CCHA side as Lorenzen comes in to take the face off. Puck comes over to Rasmussen. And we're going to get another offsides call. So we'll do it all over again with 6 minutes and 59 seconds left here. Lorenzen steps in, so work out to the right, or to the left. Erickson to the right, back to Sestafant. Sestafant throws across ice, and it's going to be an icing call. Face off will be to the right of Sparkman. Lorenzen steps in for the face off. Puck comes out to Shakopee. Shakopee's shot gets blocked by Sestafant. He sends it into the corner for Rasmussen. Rasmussen up to Erickson. Erickson loses the puck. Gets picked up by Sestafant. They'll carry it out of the zone. Tries to double back. Gets pushed into the zone by Shakopee. Into the corner. Erickson comes up. Sestafant. He gets taken down. No call there. Gets flooded out to center ice. That's a bullshit call. And a goal. That was a bullshit goal. Sorry for swearing, but that was a bullshit goal. They missed the tripping call, then they missed the offsides call. All right, up comes the Hagen. Hagen will skate it in. He tries to flip it over to Ulrich. Puck comes out, controlled by Armentrout. He'll send it over to Davis. Davis fans on the shot, but gets it to Armentrout. Armentrout flips it up to Johnson. Johnson carries it in. Brings it into the corner. Puck comes out, controlled by Shakopee. Shakopee will send it all the way down. That's going to be an icing call on Shakopee. 5 minutes and 47 seconds left in the second period. Johnson then takes the face off. He'll have Ulrich to the right, Hagen to the left. Sorry, Ulrich will take the face off. Johnson moves out to the right, just out of the reach of Ulrich, or Hagen. Hagen sends it back to Armentrout. Armentrout's shot, deflected. Shot underneath, goes back behind the net. Ulrich looks around, takes a shot, goes into the corner. Hagen with it, goes back behind the net. And Shakopee will come away with it. Shakopee will bounce it off the boards, but Armentrout's able to keep it in temporarily. Points out the Johnson skate. Shakopee will hold up. They take the shot, and the glove saved by Sarkman. All right. Break it line out there. He's in for the face-off. It's dropped on his head. Picked up by Heinrich. Heinrich bounces it off the boards and sends it into the zone. Sorry, that was Christensen. And that's going to be an icing call. That's a bunch of crap because he shot it after the red line. All right. Face off will come back to the left of Starkton. Riker didn't take the face off. That goes down into the corner. Heidi and Riker back behind the net. Comes up to the point for Shakopee. Heiner puts the pressure on. Puck comes down, wide of the net. Goes thrown in the crease. Picked up by Christensen. Christensen has Riker and Heiner. Christensen gets pushed off good. Comes up to Schwartzbaugh. Schwartzbaugh shot gets deflected. Riker takes a swat at it. Picked up by, oh no. Schwartzbaugh gets tripped up. Heidi's back. Shot, nice save by Starkman. Great save by Starkman there. All right, Lorenzen line out there. He'll come in for the face-off. Puck goes wide. Picked up by Rasmussen. Rasmussen gets it. Sends it to Swarthout. Swarthout comes in. 2-on-1. He gets shoved to the ice. No freaking call there. Can't believe it. Not sure what game they're watching, but puck comes back to Sestefan. He throws it cross ice. He picked up by Eriksson. Eriksson will backhand it into the zone. Comes all the way down. Tried to hit the wide player. Puck comes back. Nice block by Sestefan. Controlled back behind the net. Picked up by Davis. Davis will send, that was Rasmussen. Puck comes to Swarthout. Swarthout will get it out of the zone. Puck comes across. And shot saved by Starkman. Johnson didn't take the face off. Ulrich and Hagen out with him. Puck comes into the Shakopee with the corner. Davis goes in after it. Johnson in to help him out. Comes to Davis. Davis doubles back. Tries to bounce it on the boards. Picked up by Johnson. Now to Davis. Davis throws it across ice to hit Ulrich. Ulrich sends it up the boards. Picked up by Shakopee. Shakopee will skate it in. Shot, loses the puck. Another shot, glove saved by Starkman. 2 minutes and 48 seconds left here in the second period. Score is Shakopee 2, CCHA 0. Reichert line comes out with Christensen and Heinrich. Davis heading out back. Puck goes to Starkman. He'll throw it back behind the net. Centered and deflected by Elman's right out of the zone. Reichert comes in. It's deflected. Davis will pick it up. Davis sends it back up the boards. Picked up by Shakopee. Comes cross ice. Christensen brings it in just before Reichert can get back across the line. 2 minutes and 22 seconds left here. We'll have a line change here. Lorenzen line out there with Swarthout to the left. Eriksson to the right. Up comes to Eriksson. Eriksson dumps it into the zone. And it goes into the CCHA bench. So we'll have a whistle. And then the puck will come off to the right of the Shakopee goalie. Lorenzen steps in for the faceoff. Swarthout to his left. Nope. Swarthout and Lorenzen will switch spots. Eriksson over to the right. Comes back to Eriksson in the corner. Eriksson doubles back. Leads it for Swarthout. Swarthout shot. Goes off the helmet. And then shot on that. Goes back. Sportsbow just overskates it. Comes out to Ivy. And he'll bring it back into the zone. Shoves it on the boards to Swarthout. Swarthout tried to send it across ice. Picked up by, broken up by Lorenzen. It comes back into the zone, or stays into the zone, into the corner, up to the point. Shot gets through, but Swarthout blocks it. Swarthout stands on the shot, gets it to Sportsbow. Sportsbow carries it in. Shot hits the side of the net. Goes back into the corner. Johnson in for it. Picked up by Ulrich. Ulrich throws across ice. Sportsbow sends it back down to Ulrich. Ulrich doubles back, sends it back to Hagen. Hagen tries to center it, picked up by Ulrich. Ulrich tried to get it to Eide. Eide gets beat. Shot goes wide of the net. Comes all the way up to the point. Comes back down low. Schwartzbauer into the corner with it. It's picked by Eide. Eide gets it out of the zone. And we're going to get an offsides call on Shakopee. All right, Reichert, Christensen, and Heinert out there. Face-off is controlled by Shakopee. Reichert picks it up at center ice, tries to get it to Heinert. Reichert pushes it back out of the zone. Shakopee picks it up, goes wide. That comes all the way down. There'll be no icing because that was a Shakopee player that shot it. Heinert comes in, puts some pressure on. Rasmussen just jumps his stick, comes out of the zone. Christensen throws it back in. Now they're chasing after it. Comes up alongside the boards, comes back out to Sestefan. Sestefan throws it across ice, picked up by Shakopee, and that'll do it for the second period. Score here is CCHA 0, Shakopee 2, and we will be back in 60 seconds. See if you can get to the bathroom in time. There we go. Here's the third and final period of the regular season. Shots on goal are 14 for both teams, if you're curious. Lorenzen steps in, take the face off. Erickson to the right, Swarth out to the left. Up back is Sestefan and Rasmussen. That comes out to Rasmussen. He'll chase it back into the zone. Sends it back along the boards. Picked up by Sestefan. Sestefan. Back. Rasmussen sends it over to the boards. Lorenzen gets it up to Swarthout. Swarthout gets over to Lorenzen. Lorenzen shot goes wide of the net. Sestefan pitches in. Erickson tries to shovel it back to him, but he missed the pass. Rasmussen sends it over to Erickson, and it comes all the way back behind the net. Rasmussen will pick it back up. He'll throw it back over for Sestefan. Sestefan throws it across ice. Erickson will pick it up. He'll carry it back behind the net. Erickson shoves it up to Swarthout. Swarthout backhands it. And it comes out of the zone where Aldrich will pick it up. Back to all the way down. Sestefan will pick it up. Picked up by Hagen. Hagen tries to hit Rasmussen. Oh, nice spin by Ulrich. Couldn't get a full stick on it though. And the puck comes out to Davis. Davis sends it up ice, trying to hit Ulrich. Puck comes into the corner for Armitrout. Armitrout sends it up to Ulrich. Ulrich tries to hit Hagen, but it comes back down in the zone. Davis with it, centered, loose out front. Puck picked up by Hagen, Ulrich. Not quite sure what happened there. And not sure. Might have been a penalty on Starkman. They're saying there was a cross check. It was technical foul. All right. I'm pretty sure there may have been a technical foul on the bench. So we're going to be 5-on-3 here. Shot goes wide of the net. 2-minute minors. 2-minute technical. Shot comes over into the corner for saved by Starkman. He flutters it up. It comes up to the point. Cross ice. Shot goes wide. Picked up by Shakopee up to the point. About a minute, 30 seconds on the double liners. Saved by Starkman. Goes front, and that's going to be a goal. 12 minutes and 30 seconds left in the period, and 18 seconds of regulation time. All right, we're back to 5-on-4 hockey here. Let's have a little conversation. Looks like Ericsson's going to head to the box. So we'll go back to 5-on-3. Okay, we're a 2-minute penalty on Johnson. Lorenzen steps in for the face-off. Shakopee controls. They carry it into the zone. They move it up to the point. Over to the other point. Shot doesn't get through. But the shot does. Saved by Starkman. That's a goal. Sorry, folks, that one drifted in. So we're 5-on-4 with 1 minute and 49 seconds left in the penalty kill. Score is now Shakopee 4, CC 0. Ulrichsen take the face off. Heinrich's going to be to the right. Rasmussen to the left. He's playing D though. Puck comes out. Over to Rasmussen. Rasmussen will put it in the zone just temporarily. Puck comes back to Sestefan. Back to Sestefan again. Sestefan will whip it all the way down. And that is going to be an icing call. 31 seconds left in the penalty kill. 12 minutes left in the period. 14 minutes left in regulation. Ulrich steps in for the face-off. Puck comes up to the point. He'll double back. Comes back down low. Puck comes up top. Shot. Goes wide. Starkman loses his stick. No goal. Goal gets waved off. Starkman was on his back. He had a player on top of him. Had lost his stick. 1 minute and 5 seconds left in the penalty kill. Johnson didn't take the face off. Hagen out front with him. Puck goes into the corner. Switchball will bring it off the boards. Comes up to the point. They send it back down low. Picked up by Schwartzball. Schwartzball bounces it off the boards. Picked up by Shakopee. Shakopee shot. It's going to save by Starkman. Johnson bounces it out of the zone. Cross ice. Shakopee picks it up. They have it at center ice. Broken up by Johnson. Shot. Davis. Centered. They're going to throw it all the way down. And that's going to be waved off. Not sure why. 20 seconds left in the penalty kill here. It comes out. Oh. Broken up by Christensen and Davis. Comes all the way down. And that's going to be an icing call on CCHA as both teams are at full strength. All right. Back to 5-on-5. Record in for the face-off. Wins it. Comes centered. Right in front of Starkman, but gets hit wide of the net. Riker poke checks that puck away, sends it in the corner, flips it up, gets it out of the zone. And attention, puck comes back to Riker. Riker throws it across ice. Eddie picks it up, gets it out of the zone. Picked up at center ice. Back to Christensen. Get some snow right out in front of the bench. And Shokopee's back with it. Shakopee throws across ice. Sestefan back for it, back behind the net. He'll carry it out. Throw it back around. Picked up by Rasmussen. Rasmussen throws it back to Sestefan. Sestefan bounces it off the boards. Throws it at Heinrich. Heinrich scoops it in. Gets into the zone temporarily, and Heinrich will flip it back over to Sestefan. Sestefan hits a Shakopee player right out front. Rasmussen's there to break it up, along with Sestefan. Sestefan bounces off the boards, gets it out of the zone. Cross ice. And Rasmussen's back for it, back behind the net. Rasmussen sends it over to Davis, jumps Davis' stick, over to Swarthout. Suck it all with his skates. Whistle was blown, I have no freaking clue why. Wasn't offsides. Got stuck in all of his skates as he came off the bench after the other player. Anyways, puck goes into the corner. Lorenzen was taking a face off. Goes to Davis. Davis tries to hit Lorenzen. It's broken up at the corner. Puck comes cross. Goes wide of the net. Puck comes back. Schwarzkopf sends it over to the corner. Bounces off his skate. Over to Swarthout. Swarthout has Lorenzen making a break for it. Puck comes out. Shot. Back. And that's going to be a penalty on Shakopee. Oh, after we were in didn't know this, but we're 5-on-4. It's like Ulrich got a penalty for something, I'm not sure what. Oh, we're 4-on-4. I really am not sure what the hell's going on tonight. Sorry, folks. Can't keep track of all the penalties. One comes up to Schwartzbau. His shot goes high and wide of the net. Into the corner. Eriksson has it. Eriksson sends it down low. Back to Eriksson. Eriksson doubles back. Skids behind the net with it. Player goes down. Eriksson still shoving in after it. Ulrich in, or Swarthout in to help him. Swarthout in now. And Swarthout's going to get a penalty. Okay, Swarthout goes to the box. Kind of crowding there. So it'll be 5-on-3. 4-on-3. 7:55 left in this period. 7 minutes left in regulation. Johnson takes a face-off, goes back behind the net. He has it in the corner, actually. He'll skate it out, get it out of the zone. Picked up by Heidi. Heidi backhands it into the zone. Shakopee. Shakopee controls back behind the net. Puck comes out. Cleo comes up front. Puck comes up to the point. Nice save by Starkman. Down into the corner, left to the point. Cross ice. Not to be shot, gets deflected by Shakopee. Another shot out front. Johnson righty, poke checks it away. 4-on-4 now. Picked up by Shakopee. Shakopee will skate it in. His shot was blocked by. Puck comes back to Johnson. He stands on the shot. Rasmussen's able to get the puck away. Puck stays into the zone now. Comes all the way back. Rasmussen will pick it up. Throws it over in the corner. Back behind the net for Shakopee. Shakopee sends it over to Hagen. Back to Rasmussen. Rasmussen slaps at it. Goes up and back into the corner. Shakopee centers, or Shakopee centers. Nice save. Over in the corner for Rasmussen. Rasmussen will ring around, and it will come all the way back out. Shakopee sends it up back out of the zone. Puck gets deflected back. Schwartzbau will throw it cross ice. Both teams are now at full strength. Puck comes up to Schwartzbau. Lost at center ice, and we're going to get an offsides call on Shakopee. 5 minutes and 43 seconds left here in the period. 5 minutes left in regulation. Score is Shakopee 4, CC 0. Like in the big face-off, Heiner to his right, Christensen to his left. That comes back out to Shakopee, deflected by Heiner. Shakopee fans on the shot, comes out to Heiner, picked up by Davis, blue line. He'll skate it up and dump it into the zone. Puck goes into the corner. Puck comes up to Davis at the point. He bounces off the boards, but it's picked up. Oh, it's not picked up by Shakopee. Shakopee centers it over to Reichert, and Reichert puts a shot on, but it's covered by the Shakopee goalie. Reichert in from face-off. Heiner to the right, Christensen to the left. Out back is Davis and Schwartzbaugh. Puck comes out to the point for Davis. His shot doesn't make it through. Stuck out front. Nice shot by Heiner. Saved by Shakopee goalie. Schwartzbaugh is able to pinch. He keeps it in. Goes into the corner for Reichert. Reichert tries to get it out, but can't. It's poke checked in for Christensen. Shakopee will come away with it. Goes cross ice. Poke checked by Schwartzbaugh. Picked up by Reichert. Reichert will bounce it off the boards and send it into the corner. Reichert going into the corner with it. Heiner in to help him out. Reichert and Heiner finding for. Heiner comes away with it, tries to get it over to Christensen. Broken by Schwartzbaugh, his shot on point. Tries to take the shot at it, but it's covered by the Shakopee goalie. 4:24 left in the period, 3 minutes left in regulation time. Lorenzen, Eriksson, and Swarthout line out there. Eriksson's going to be to the left, Swarthout to the right. Puck comes over to Eriksson. He sends it back to Heidi. Heidi throws a cross ice to Armantrout, but ended up coming out of the zone. Picked up by Heidi. Back to the corner. Heidi in with it. He has it alongside the boards. He's back behind the net. And a goal. All right, Lorenzen in for the face-off. Eriksson to the right. Swarthout to the left. Okay, scrap. Shakopee controls. They flip it up. Comes into the zone. Sestafot alongside the boards with it. That comes out to Eriksson. Eriksson gets it to Swarthout. Swarthout back to Eriksson. Eriksson shoots. Shot goes over the net. Deflected by the Shakopee goalie. Comes out. Heidi able to control it or keep it in. He sends it back behind the net. Eriksson in the corner with it. He throws it back for Lorenzen. Lorenzen gets rubbed off it. Back behind the net. Comes cross ice. Heidi will get there first. He throws it over to Sestafot. Sestafot will carry it up. Comes in the zone only temporarily. That comes all the way down. And we're going to get an icing call. 1 minute left in regulation time. Johnson, Ulrich, and Hagen line out there. Ulrich to the right, Hagen to the left. At back is Davis and Rasmussen. That comes out. Hagen's shot. Glove saved by the Shakopee goalie. Ulrich will take the face off. He goes to the net. Backhanded. Hagen's right there, but they couldn't punch it in. That comes out of the zone. About 30 seconds left in regulation time. And Johnson's going to pick up a penalty as soon as this puck gets stopped. Oh, goal. That's going to about do it, folks. About 10 seconds left in regulation time. Final this evening is CCHA 0, Shakopee 6. Have a great rest of your afternoon, and we'll see you for the playoffs.